Good afternoon again. I will actually continue in my yesterday's presentation a little bit in more detail. And a part of giving you more details about technology, I will also, as Simon introduced, talk about the results of the workshops that were running from yesterday. So the title of my presentation actually is kind of complicated because it's mixing, as I said, results of the workshops plus talking about some components of our ecosystem as well as some processes. So it's quite complicated on one side, but I believe that the foundation of it, the things that we believe that will make the whole thing simple are simple. So I will try to find it, show it to you, and I will take it from the upside down. So I will not start with the workshops as the title that was given to me says, but I will take it the other way. So you will understand what's the foundation and how the things can work. So I will start with the IQRF repository. IQRF repository is a new piece of our ecosystem we announced a year ago. Now it's working. You will find it in that URL. It's actually a server giving API in a RESTful way. And the basic functionality, one and only functionality it gives is to provide information about important objects of IQRF. To name them, there are products, manufacturers, standards, packages, you name it, okay? So you will, using the simple API, can find out the details about all these objects. The API is fully documented. You will find the documentation on that URL. Click on it. Try it, play with it, because it's actually documented in a well-known Swagger, let's say, industry standard way. So there is a Swagger description of the full API, very easy to play with, or even use it to generate automatically your clients if needed. Yeah, Swagger can be used for such a things. Even the well-known services like Facebook and Instagram are using Swagger to describe their API. I will show you some of these objects that you can look at. The basic object is the product, of course. Yeah, the product, the end device that IQRF is using. So by simple URL / hardware profile ID of the product, you will find the details about the products. The name, manufacturer, homepage, picture, and so on and so on. You can find out also the details, small details about the manufacturer and the company. Okay, so in this case, manufacturer ID is 3, so simple query is manufacturer /3. You will know the name of the company. And again, other objects. Very important object is the package. Yeah, the package is more complicated object that holds almost everything you need to maintain your device, to make it running, right? So it contains these basic information like name, and homepage. But last but not least, it also contains another properties. So you will run the simple query asking for all the packages for the certain products. You will get the list of the packages based on the version of DPA, version of operating system. You choose the one you need, and you will get the package of the certain ID. The package is, as you can see, probably cannot read it, quite a complicated structure. And important thing, it also lists all the standards, IQRF standards it supports. So let me a little bit talk about the standards we have today. We have few standards apart from the embedded peripheral standards. One standard is the construction of the hardware profile ID. So this is the unique ID of each product containing product ID and the manufacturer ID. The second well-known, I can say, standard is the sensor standard. It names all the quantities that we can measure. It specifies the format, FRCs, and so on and so on. Then there is a binary output. Binary output you saw in the action when there was a Netio plug. So with the binary, you just switch on, switch off the things, typically. And the last standard we have is for the light. I think there was a Datmolog slide. where you can dim it and put the timeout, how long it lights, and so on and so on. So there are basic principles we keep in mind when designing the standard. We, as the IQRF is simple, we want the standard to be simple, okay? We want to be scalable. On the other side, no exceptions. So we always focus on, let's say, 80% of the common things, and those things we try to put in the standard. No extra features of this and that product. It doesn't go inside, okay? To demonstrate that is the fact that the list of the standards is same like last year, okay? The commands are same, yeah? We change just the small things. But what happened from the past 10 months is that the number, for instance, of standard quantities growth, I say organically, so by some need, from 8 to 27, okay? So we are not defining and standardizing quantities because they are nice. We define them because someone has a product that needs such a quantity. So all these gases and dust and relative humidity, this is something that you can really today use and measure on some of the products from IQRF. So back to the standards. If you want to list them, get the real standard, again, simple URL. 94, by the way, stands for hexadecimal 5E, like sensor. So you ask for the sensor standard. We tell you we have already 2 versions of it. Everything is versioned, by the way. And it's only a small step from the standard for something that we introduced a year ago, which is a driver. These 10 months ago, it was just the basic idea. Today it's fully working. That is the way how we were able to show these easy to, smart connect the things and easy integration into Node-RED and into the Android app and so on. And this is the drivers. The driver is actually prepared JavaScript code to simplify the usage of the standards and of DPA. So there is no more need, let me repeat it again, there is no more need to, compose these bytes and bits and electrons into the messages. There is a JavaScript routine ready for doing that. So you just call one JavaScript routine to compose a DPA requests. You send the request to the network. You will get back the response. And there is another routine that decodes the response for you. So in the package, you will see the standard with the driver, which is actually the JavaScript code. The standards and the drivers are fully documented. So this is the piece of the documentation from the web. So for instance, this is the routine to construct a command to read the standard sensor. And at the very bottom, the JavaScript you don't have to care about, we wrote it, is the following. Okay, so it does a lot of work for you, all these error checkings, exception handling, and so on, and so on, and so on. So all what you have to do is construct the requests, call the network, get the response, decode it, done. Okay, so this is actually what was happening in the mobile app. Yeah, what is happening, and I'll show you the results of the workshops in the workshops. So, few words what a certified product is. It's a product that fully complies with IQRF standards. So it behaves today like these standard sensors, standard binary output, or standard write. It is recognized by IQRF Alliance, meaning that the manufacturer is in the repository, in the database. We have a business connection with it. And last but not least, of course, it's certified, meaning that we proved that the device is behaving according to the standard. So since then, such a device is in the repository listed, and everything is working like the click. And of course, at the end of the day, we want to make a business. So the certified product is listed on IQRF Alliance Marketplace. And this is the final goal, actually. So what were the workshops like? So they started yesterday. They were 2 parallel workshops. One was dedicated for manufacturers, and the second one was for integrators. the goal of the first one for manufacturers was to develop a standard IQRF device that is fully working according to the standard. The goal of the second workshop was to prepare an IQRF network running on the IQRF gateway daemon, set it up, make it ready for later connection of results of both of these workshops in one room. So these guys who had the gateway plus the network prepared took a device from the first group, and by using Smart Connect, scanning of the QR code, by the way, they put the device into the network, and by few clicks, they show the numbers, the graphs, and things like that. So we developed an IQRF certified product. In our case, it was a standard sensor device looking like this. So we used our development board with the potentiometer as an input, and of course our transceiver. We put a product into a repository. So in the repository there were 4 products for each group. One was sensoring low voltage, current, power, humidity, and the manufacturer was actually IQRF Summit. The device was, of course, IQRF Smart Connect ready, meaning that after constructing the QR code and by scanning it by the mobile app simply found the device in the repository, as you saw just a few seconds ago, saying like, do you want to bond such a device? Number 3, measuring the power from IQRF Summit. Okay, you want? Why not? So it automatically then, after the bonding was done, generated the user interface in the application. So the workshop device was automatically shown in the user interface. So this is one part on the mobile device. And this is just the, let's say, the game, the mobile device. It is not something for production. But important thing is that the device, standard device, was fully integrated into the gateway daemon and also the cloud. So at the end of the day, these guys, I don't know how they do it. They just, take the mouse and do some clicks and drag and drops. And using the Node-RED, they were able immediately to show the measured quantity by turning the potentiometer left and right. They are actually drawing such strange graphs. And that was the result. So in few hours, one group created a product, another group prepared a network, they join later on, scan it, have it working, have a nice, impressive results. So that was it. I wanted to make my life easier, so I will finish with the same slide like yesterday. So who's of you who were here, I am sorry for that, but at least I want you all to remember some things. The first one, IQRF ecosystem is maturing. It's not mature yet, but it's maturing. From the IQRF network based on some modules, we are going through the end server, through the gateway, so it's going to be steady and growing. It's based on standards. It's based on industry standards like MQTT, JSON, RESTful, and so on, and of course on our own standards. Please remember a new feature of bonding. It's called IQRF Smart Connect. Very easy. Especially you saw it yesterday when Yotio was presenting their Google, hey Google something, These guys, they brought the devices and they were surprised they are not bonded, So just by scanning, it was started working. So Smart Connect is such easy, no button pressing and things like that. We have IQRF Gateway Daemon, software running on Linux and Windows machines that takes care of the network, controls the coordinator or coordinators, plus giving a high-level services in its version 2. When talking about the high-level services, I'm talking about the services like run complicated things like unbound the network, you know, run the auto networking and things like that. So we will, all these wizards and complicated algorithms that you can see today in IQRF IDE software will be also available in the gateway with simple JSON interface, you know. So all these, how is it called, network manager, you know, complicated button stuff, of course, running only DPA commands, nothing else, will be ready on your fingertips in the gateway daemon. Very important, very important. Last but not least, IQRF repository as a central storage, keeping information about important objects of the IQRF, mainly the products. And all this together is bringing to you, I believe, simple integration and maintenance of your end user solution, okay? So everything is there, I believe, easy to use. We are on the right track and ecosystem is maturing. This is it. Thank you very much for your attention.